The one thing that we do all our lives is talking with people, having conversations. Yet, we are never told how to have good conversations, how to have good communication skills. Today, I'm going to break all of that down and teach you how you can become a master at communication and talk well with people. Let's begin. I remember that as a child, as a 4 5 year old kid, I would strike up conversations with any and everyone. Literally. I remember that if I even met a person, let's say in a restaurant and all, I would ask them something. I would be curious. I would talk to them. And sometimes in my family, we also joke about this how I always spoke a lot. And I was a kind of person who woke up, started speaking, and then I stopped speaking only when I went to sleep. That is the kind of child I was. I was always curious, always talking. But then in the last few years, something changed. A little hesitation developed inside of me. I was not quite as forward going. I did have conversations, but I would never really strike up any conversation with a stranger. And then one day it hit me. Why is that happening? Where did I lose that child inside of me? Why did it all change? And I realized the only difference that was there was as a child, I did not care and worry about how I was judged. But as I grew, I started thinking that way. That is what happened. But then I was wondering, why does that happen? If we all just talk all the time, right, from our childhood to the time we die, we are talking with people, we are conversing with people, then why is it that we don't learn about communication skills? Why is it that we don't learn about how to have a good, meaningful conversation? And that's when I decided, let's go and take a deep dive into what communication is, how does it happen, and what are the different aspects of it. And after that, it completely changed my view on communication. It completely transformed how I communicate with people. And now, let's say that I can say that I'm kind of back to the kind of person I was. The only difference is that now I have much more meaningful and deep conversations, and that is a very beautiful thing. And so that is where I want to begin this journey with you with. I know you would have had many conversations in life. Some of them might not have been as you expected. Some of them might have been very good, while some of them might have been very bad. Today, we'll break all of that down. Today, we'll understand how you can build up your communication skills right from the base so that it is very strong, it is proper, and that it has a very strong and solid base. Let's start with that, and that begins with understanding what communication is. The word communication comes from the word commune, and that means to share, to be in a community. And basically, that is what communication and conversation is. There's a sharing of ideas, there's a sharing of thoughts. Some kind of sharing is going on as you speak. It can be through written communication, it can be through verbal communication, through your facial expressions, through your body language. All of that is communication. You're sharing a message, you're sharing an idea, and therefore the key aspect of communication is not that you have to prove yourself, or that you have to come across as the smartest person, or that you have to fulfill your ego. All of those are things that only your mind thinks, that you only have stuff in here, when in reality all communication is having a good, healthy discussion, having a sharing of thoughts, sharing of ideas. Who you are, how do you come across as a person, is your ego side there, whatever, all of those aspects are secondary. The main idea is sharing ideas. That is what the main concept is, and therefore trying to convince someone else or all of that is not a part of the communication skills at the core. Yes, that is a part of learning how to sell, learning how to persuade. All of that is there. The base of communication is sharing ideas and forming a good relationship. That is all there is. And the reason why we are not able to do is we think we will be judged. We feel everybody has their eyes on us, and we have the spotlight effect. How are we perceived? We often feel that if we are in a group conversation, or if we are with a group of people, everybody has their eyes on us. Everybody is there, right there, like vultures trying to take on our insecurities, trying to pick on our vulnerabilities and all of those things. That is not the truth. That is just your imagination running wild. Everybody is worried about themselves. In fact, you do this experiment. You go out on the street, you stand there for 5 minutes, and you see some people would be standing there, some would move on. The people who see you for the 1 2 minutes, half a minute, ask them, "What do you think of me? Did you judge me?" And they would sometimes be like, "I didn't even notice you were there." And that is the reality. We think everyone has their eyes on us, we have the spotlight effect going on, while everyone else is thinking they have their lights, everyone else has their lights on them. So put this pressure down a little. Put this pressure of being judged, being perceived in a certain way down a little, because you are not at the spotlight, you are not at the core of everything. You have to look at the base, you have to look at everything that there is, and then have a conversation. And that is where you have to put your ego aside. That is the very first thing to having a great conversation. If you try to make it too much about yourself, if you try to, flaunt all the money you have, flaunt all the success that you have, you will come across as the worst communicator. You will come across as the person no one likes to talk to, and you don't want that, right? And so, the key here is to get rid of the spotlight effect. It is not about you, it is about sharing ideas and learning from the other person, because a conversation is one of the best ways to learn from other people. And so now we will be going through the ways that we can use to improve our communication skills and become a great communicator, have awesome conversation in our lives. And the first and foremost thing to having good communication skills is be interested. If you yourself are not interested and willing to have a conversation, there will be no good communication, there will be no conversation. And if your willingness, if your interest is only to talk about the topics you know, or just talk about yourself and not listen, then that also will not make you a great communicator. That will make people think, oh, this person is so full of themselves, they just think about what they want, that person is just talking about everything about themselves, that person is not a good person to talk with. That is what the perception will come across. And there you might be considered as egoistic, you might be considered as a person who is not good to talk to. And that is why all rich people, all successful people are not often the ones that we have the most pleasure talking with. We have the most pleasure talking with people who are great listeners, who give their valuable time, who are really interested. When you are speaking, they are not looking here, scratching their head, looking at the time. All they're interested is in you. They're sitting like this with this expression of inquisitiveness, with this smile on their face, and so much more. And that is what makes a great listener. That shows that you are interested when you're leaning in, when you're listening carefully. That is what you want to be as a communicator. You must be even more willing to listen than you are willing to speak. And that is what will make the difference. That is what will make you stand out. And this then takes us to the second point, which is be a good listener, please. This is a quality that very few people have. Being a good listener doesn't mean that you are sitting there and listening to the person. Being a good listener means that you are there without judgment. You are replacing judgment with curiosity. Instead of thinking in your mind, oh yeah, I know what that person is saying. I know, okay, then the sales pitch will come, then that person will say this, that. Don't think that way. Don't try to pre-assume. Don't try to judge. Instead, be there with curiosity. Okay, I've heard this from other people. Let's see what he has to say. Let's see what she has to say. And so that is how you be a good listener. That is when you are willing, that is when you're interested in understanding, in soaking in what the other person is saying. And that makes all the difference. And the other person will catch the vibe, right? If you are not interested, if you don't have that good listener attitude, if you are just doing that thing, listening from one ear, putting it out from the other, the person will notice that. Then that rift, that gap will come in the communication. You don't want that. Be genuinely interested, be a good listener, and be inquisitive, be curious, and try to understand what the other person is saying without judgment. That will take you a long way. Also, when you listen and you are right there in the present moment, right, you're not forming questions even before the person is speaking and all of those things, and like all of that goes, like the chatter is going on inside our mind. If you are just there with that person, then the kind of questions you will come with, the kind of ideas that you will have to talk next will keep the other person engaged, will keep the other person interested, and will make the other person feel valued, while the conversation will add value to your life plus their life. You will be knowing exactly where to add little details, exactly where to add your points or some things that you might have thought about. And that will then make the other person also notice that yes, he listened to me very well, he listened to me with proper thought, and that leaves a impact like nothing else. And also, if you might think, but what if I need some time to process things? And that is what the beauty of a conversation is. Those perfect pauses between someone else saying something and you responding, or you saying something and someone else responding, those pauses are what make a conversation. Those gaps, we are putting everything together and then saying something thoughtful, something meaningful, are what take the conversation from the surface level to the depth, to the real core. And in the depth there is value. In that value you will find how that communication, how that interaction can help you learn more and grow more in your life. And then the next thing is, know who you are very very clearly. The problem is when people introduce themselves, right? When you have a conversation, when you say hi, or when you meet a person for the first time and you don't really have something to talk about, you are trying to spark a conversation, and that person asks, well, tell me who you are, what do you do? And you say, well, I'm a software engineer, and I work at this company in Mumbai, and they have offices in 47 countries. And yeah, that is what my professional side is. Also, there is, yes, I am also a painter, okay, so I'm also a painter, and I like to sing a little bit. I'm a father, I have a 4-year-old daughter. That is gone. You don't want to talk like that. What you want is a great, simple, straightforward introduction. Half the time, when people are asked to introduce themselves, if they have 1 minute, 30 seconds, 40 seconds are just this, and I think, yes. You don't want that. You want it to be specific, to the point, and impactful. And that is why spend some time in it. Spend some time in defining who you are, in defining how you will introduce yourself. And personally, when I did that, this changed everything for me. Now, whenever I introduce myself, I don't say I'm Prabhsimrat Gill, I do this and all of that. The way that I introduce myself is, hi, I'm Prabhsimrat Gill. I'm an author, blogger, and world record holder for being the youngest non-fiction self-published author dedicated to helping people achieve their dreams and live their life to their fullest potential. That was short, that was sweet, and that was right there to the point. I've also made some longer introductions, let's say 30 seconds, 1 minute, or even a whole paragraph, a whole page. Fill that in. Do those things, spend some time in that, and in that you will gain so much clarity about who you are, right? That you will be able to understand, okay, I've spoken this is who I am. Then you listen to the other person. Through that, you'll be able to pick up some common point that will allow you to take the conversation forward, that will allow you to build on things, one step on the other, on the other, on the other. And then, when you be a good listener, when you ask great questions, all of that, you get to the depth and you make that moment really memorable, really incredible. And then the next point is, ask specific and detailed questions, right? When you listen intently, when you listen through the present moment, you will notice many small details in the communication. You will notice very small details that the person is talking about. Ask questions related to that. Ask questions on those very small things. Let's say that if a person says, oh, I went to the UK in 2008 and I did my MBA from there. It was a great experience and I learned this, then I got this job in France. You pick up that detail. Oh, where did you do that MBA? Because I've also done my MBA in UK. You find that common point again, right? And that person makes that other person feels that okay, this person really noticed the details. This person really noticed the small areas. And when that person says, oh, I did my MBA from Oxford University, what about you? You say, let's say you did it from Cambridge University. Then you discuss something about that. Then you ask, what did you do an MBA in? Let's say the MBA was in general business management. Okay, that's great. You ask questions related to that. When you go into the details, when you try to understand the other person and ask simple, specific, detailed questions, it takes the conversation to another level, and it makes every moment full of learning and joy for you and the other person. It makes you look as an amicable person who is ready to learn, who is ready to communicate. Why? Because you're not just talking about yourself, you're getting into the depths of the other person, you're connecting very well on a very strong base. The next point is focus on improving your articulation and your thoughts to words connection. Your tone, the way you speak, the way you say your words, and all of that, that matters. That does play a role in communication. See how you can make your tone better. Record a video, record some audio of yourself. See where those highs are, see where those lows are in the pitches. When you record audio on your phone or any app, right, you see those graph, that line, and that will tell you, okay, where is it going very high, where is it going very low, and is your volume good, is your volume too low. When you figure those little details out, your articulation will become much better. When you talk to other people, you will be able to feel that difference, and they will also be able to feel that, okay, this person is a great communicator. And that goes a very long way in forming a great impression. That goes a very long way in making your communication skills better. And also, when your tone, when your articulation, and all of that is mixed with being a good listener, with being interested and willing, you create a lasting impression, you create an impactful relationship. Along with that, focus on your thoughts to words connection. Oftentimes, what happens is the thoughts in our minds are running way too fast, and then we skip some words. Then, what happens is that we miss something. Then, we're like, oh, what was I saying? And all of those things. Try to slow your thoughts down. Try to slow that rapid pace down. And that is also why we stammer sometimes. It is not that your tongue is slipping, it is that your thoughts are going way too fast than how much your speaking skills or how fast you can speak. And that is why then that stammering occurs, then you get stuck in between. And so, calm yourself down. Practice mindfulness. Practice exercises that help you slow down your thought process and improve the thoughts to words connection. When your thoughts and your words start to go on a similar pace, obviously in some situations you will be thinking very fast. In some you will be thinking moderately. In some you will be thinking very slowly. But try to align them. Try to keep it at this balance all the time. And then your words will come out at the right pace. Your words will come out at the right volume. Everything will be good. When you figure out this connection, when you get sorted internally, the more well sorted you are, the better your communication will be. And that is what matters the most. Focus on this. And then the final point that we have is always end a conversation on a positive note. If it is the first conversation or the thousandth one, it does not matter. No matter what you talked about, no matter what was the general discussion, was it negative or all, try to end it on a positive note. Say something positive. Have a ending message that is there for you, right? Say something great. Appreciate the person, compliment something specific about them, or leave something positive. When you leave something, when you give something, it leaves a even lasting impression. But when you do that, right, when you end it on a positive note, when you end it on a high, that person feels encouraged to talk to you more. That person feels encouraged to form a relationship. And that is something that you would also like, right? That is something that you would also want. Let's say you talk to a person and then you have ended the conversation that you are an idiot, and the other person is saying, no, you are an idiot, and then you walk part ways. Will you ever want to talk to that person again? No, right? You will never talk to them. Don't do anything like that. Instead, end it on a positive note, say something good, say something great, and then move on. Then end that conversation, and that will make every experience positive for you. That way, you will have very less regrets. Yes, some conversations might not go the right way, some conversations might have some problems, some barriers in between, but that's all right. Sometimes that will happen. The main key is you keep improving, you keep growing, and with all of these things, when you sort this out, your communication will be incredible. You will be a great listener, and you will be a person that everyone loves to talk to. In fact, the key to great communication skills is learning how to be silent, learning how to be more calm, composed, and in the moments that you can pay full attention to the other person. What are your thoughts? What do you think about communication skills? How have your communication skills been till now? And how will you implement these steps? Comment down and let me know. Let's connect, let's interact, and let's empower each other. Also, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel because it keeps me motivated, and also it notifies you every time a new video is out, so that you can keep fast track on your success and that you overcome every barrier, every roadblock that is there stopping you from your destiny. Also, share this video with as many people as possible. Let's become great communicators. Help your colleagues, friends, family become great communicators by sharing this video with them. And also remember, you are awesome, you are limitless, and you will rock the world. Make your communication skills great, and you will be a person that will learn every day, every time from every person that you meet with. Thank you for watching this video. I will see you in the next one.